Oh my gosh, look at that. It is the Oscar red carpet. It is the center of the universe right now. You're seeing lots and lots of Hollywood people milling around, and all the stars are arriving. The fans are getting very excited. Anyway, hi everybody. It is the biggest night in Hollywood, the 91st Academy Awards, and we are going to be here and we're going to be breaking down the films and the fashion, and of course, we're going to be talking to a whole lot of movie stars. I'm Jess Cagle, the People and Entertainment Weekly editorial director, and this is the People Entertainment Weekly Red Carpet Live, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Thank you, Straight Talk Wireless. I'm here on the bleachers of the red carpet at People's 7th Annual Oscars Fan Experience, where I am with 300 VIP fans and rabid moviegoers who are very excited to be here. I may be talking to some of them later, hopefully embarrassing them so much that they'll never be able to go home again. That's my goal. But first, let's check in with People's Deputy Editor, J.D. Heyman, and People TV's Lola Ogunake, who are down on the carpet getting ready to interview the stars as they arrive. J.D. and Lola, what's happening?
Oh, it's amazing down here. If you've ever seen a little German movie called Das Boot, it's very, very close quarters down here, and we're experiencing that, but with a whole lot of glamour. So it's more like the Poseidon Adventure meets Das Boot. But we're very excited for all the stars, right, Lola?
We are excited for all the stars. But JD, before we continue, I've got to talk about how good you look today. You look quite dapper.
Oh, you're so nice, and you always look so elegant. We've been doing this for 3 years.
We have been doing this for 3 years, our third time together, and you literally gave blood, sweat, and tears last year. Tell them what happened to you. You almost died on the red carpet.
I almost did. So what you can't see, everybody out there in the world, is that there's a metal barricade here. And as I was giving this banter last year, I nicked my hand against the metal and bled profusely. My hand was bloody red, but I didn't pass out. Lola held me up. She lifts me up wherever I go.
Are you going to break into song now?
I might.
The song of the day that we're going to have to keep on singing is Shallow. You know that.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that, the Shallow song. Jess loves the Shallow song.
All right, well, I hope
what are you excited for tonight?
Escape. I hope you escape without injury. I'm excited about so much. I'm excited because the Best Actor race is totally wide open. And I've brought in the Entertainment Weekly's digital staff editor, Jared Hall. We'll be back to you in a minute, JD and Lola. And we're going to be talking about all of the races. We're going to tell you who's going to win, who's not going to win. Yeah. Just want to start off, Jared, by just letting everybody know Roma and The Favorite tonight are leading the nominations. They each have 10 nominations. Vice and A Star is Born each have 8 nominations. Right. Black Panther with 7 nominations, BlackKKlansman with 6 nominations, and then tied for 5 nominations each are Bohemian Rhapsody and Green Book. So you're going to be seeing a lot of action around those films.
Big stars attached to all of those movies. I am personally excited to see with A Star is Born, Lady Gaga. She's kind of been ruling the red carpet the entire season. She has looked phenomenal, and I think she is. I think she should be prepared to head up on stage and accept an Oscar tonight. We'll get to that category a little later. You know, I'm also excited to see Rami Malek, who could also win his first Oscar. I would love to see him show up in something very Freddie Mercury inspired. Wouldn't that be great? You know, really honoring the person he is portraying. And Regina King hasn't made a movie in 10 years. She is phenomenal in If Beale Street Could Talk.
Right, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but she's a favorite to win also.
As well.
Yeah. What about Black Panther?
Ooh, Black Panther. I mean, it is a history-making movie in terms of the Oscars. A superhero movie has never received a Best Picture nomination, and it landed one of those coveted spots this year, one of the 8 that were nominated. You've also got director Ryan Coogler. He's not nominated. Many think he should have been, but of course, it is a very big deal for him. Ryan is so young, and to have spearheaded this movie and did what he accomplished with it.
But I agree. He should have been nominated.
Yeah, I think he should have been nominated. $1.3 billion around the world this movie is made. And of course, they were one of our, the women of Black Panther were one of Entertainment Weekly's Entertainers of the Year. They are phenomenal. Lupita Nyong'o and Denai Guerrera among some of the others. It's a crowd favorite, a fan favorite, an audience favorite. Will it win? We'll talk about that later.
Well, it's been an exciting race. I think there are some incredible artists involved in tonight's race you're going to be seeing more of. Let's just take one moment to hear from some of the stars who were nominated tonight from EW's acclaimed awardist series.
There could be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe, but all it takes is one. And, you know, he believed in me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Once we got Christian Bale and Amy Adams in, I mean, they were the keys because they just went deep on these characters and they became the actual characters.
They really captured how different the characters were. The relationship just pops. The dynamic is really special.
What I knew about Vincent van Gogh is probably what most people know. I also knew I was going to have to learn how to paint. That was the key to everything.
I feel weirdly very personally responsible to get Lee's story out there. I mean, I know I didn't know her, but I have a real sweet spot for her. I love someone who's unapologetic.
This is a man who absolutely and sincerely believes himself to be a patriot, but for so many is unpatriotic as well.
To start from Lynn as sort of people know her today, it became very difficult for me to decipher people's opinion from truth. It immediately challenged me in a way that I haven't been challenged before.
There weren't any easy victories in terms of becoming friends. I'm just a chatterbox. I'm eating, I'm smoking in the car. I'm a pain in the ass.
I teach Emma Stone to shoot guns, and then she becomes much better than me.
Yeah, definitely KKK garb isn't part of my, isn't part of my life. So it is jarring, obviously, to see something that's such an iconic symbol of hate, something you vehemently disagree with.
So putting all these feelings back and down and letting them be there but not show them, I think that was a great challenge, but it was also a beautiful one.
Well, we want to avoid making a black-white buddy cop movie, so anything we could do for it not to be that film, we did.
When I got together with Bradley, one of the things that he said to me is, I want to see you do something you've never done before. What are the odds that I'm going to have an encounter with Lady Gaga at 74 years old?
Pues solamente me fui llevando. Lo que sí se me dificultaba era tratar de hacer las cosas y pensar que estaba yo sola, que no estaba la cámara y toda la gente alrededor.
The final scene that Melissa and my character have together, both of us were, because it was at the end of the movie as well, were unable to get through without literally just being very, very emotional.
Everything is based upon my memories, or 90% of the film. The process, it forced me to recognize her as a woman.
Because it was called The Wife, and because the character was mainly an older woman, very hard to make. But now that it was made, it represents where I hope we're going.
Life for women in Wakanda is beautiful.
It's a nation that respects and reveres women.
It was such a breath of fresh air, to see men and women living in their power without one dwarfing the other. They were not eye candy, although we do look pretty down the slide, I must say.
That's what's powerful about these stories, is that it's showing us that there's room for all of us.
It's a serious film. These are serious times, and I think there's a serious audience that will be thankful for it.
We both wanted to tell a love story, because if we do it right, everybody will be able to relate to it.
And we have a love story like this, which is so full of paradoxes and twists and two strong characters, neither giving way. Suddenly it has so much more than just a love story.
If you're gonna take away something, is that love brings you through it.
It's very rare that you have a true artistic exchange.
I think you just always want people to see it and enjoy it.
This movie may have changed me for all time.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. In that sense, it's transformative.
Welcome back to the People Entertainment Weekly Red Carpet Live, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. And I am not kidding when I tell you that Marie Kondo just arrived on the carpet and people went insane.
People went nuts for her.
I know, but I'm
amazing.
much more excited to have a bona fide movie expert right here with me, EW senior writer Pia Sinharoy. Now, I'm going to be here with Pia talking about they're talking in my ear. Are we going to JD and Lola? Oh,
we have
my
a nominee.
God. Okay, we'll get back to you in a second. People going to JD and Lola with a nominee.
Oh, hi. We're here with an incredibly accomplished nominee, Mark Shaman, who's written some of the most memorable music in Hollywood. And Scott Moving over here.
Yes, I'm a virgin tonight, so this is all new to me.
Yeah, it's my 6th and 7th nomination.
And this is my first. So.
We ran into Jennifer Lewis earlier, and she said she was here for you and that you were going to have a really good time tonight.
And you guys are live, correct?
Yeah.
We are live.
Live as you can be.
Did she keep it clean?
She kept it very clean. She raved about you. She said she was here to support you
Yes,
both,
she is, yes.
and she was just so thrilled. So tell us about your relationship with Miss Jennifer Lewis, and how excited are you to be here this evening?
We're very excited, and it's a very old home week because we've known Jennifer from New York cabaret scene and have been lucky enough to be working and friends in love with Bette Midler for me 41 years. Yeah. So the fact that Bette's singing her song and Jennifer's, who was a harlot with Bette Midler, everything's coming together really nicely.
Makes sense. I mean, Bette is just thrilling on this song. It's really beautiful.
Now, I heard there's a Mary Poppins moment tonight. There may be some flying being done. Did you know that?
Well, anything's possible, as Mary Poppins says.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but yeah, we saw it in the script. But
what can you tell us? We need to break news right now. Will an umbrella be involved? Let us know.
There's a lot of umbrellas involved.
Flying.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to say they'll kill us.
They will. Well, Jess Cagle says hello from the bleachers.
I love Jess.
We love Jess too. Turn around and wave to him. There he is.
He's waving up there. Well, guys, it's so great to see you.
Great
Best
to
of
see you
luck.
too.
Thank you.
Have fun tonight.
We'll
try.
It'll be fun. Thank you.
So really exciting to see that there is going to be a moment.
That was a blast.
Yep.
Thank you, JD and Lola. They are fantastic. Your first nominee. It's like I know.
great
It's fantastic.
nominee.
I know.
All right. I am here with Pia
Umbrella.
Sinharoy, Entertainment Weekly senior writer, and we are going to be breaking down all the categories. Who's going to win? Who's not going to win? Who's the front runner? And who's going to get robbed?
Let's get into
so
it.
if you're going to be filling out your Oscar ballot, stick around because we're going to help you do that, and you'll be the star of your Oscar viewing party. But first, Pia, this has been a really long road to the Oscar telecast tonight for the Academy.
Oh my goodness, so many things have been going sort of
Wrong.
unexpectedly, but wrong in parts. The Academy tried to instill a popular film category all the way back last August, I think. That failed. Then they had trouble with the host when Kevin Hart was initially announced and then had to step down. So we are now going into the first hostless Oscars in 30 years, I believe, which is going to be really fascinating. And then, of course, they wanted to keep a very tight 3-hour show. So in order to do that, they tried to push 4 of the categories to the commercial breaks. There's a huge outcry from members, and they decided to reverse that decision. So is this going to be a tight 3-hour show? I'm not sure.
No, it's just going to be as long as every Oscars.
It is.
Because they didn't cut anything.
They didn't cut anything. They tried. They tried so hard. They couldn't cut anything. So we're gonna get all 24 categories being handed out on the live telecast. We're gonna get the full speeches. So who knows how long this is gonna go into? But I'm excited for the performances. I am disappointed though that Kendrick Lamar and SZA, who were nominated for all the stars from Black Panther in the original song category, are not going to be here. They're the only ones not performing that song. So.
I know, and they never really gave a reation as to why they weren't performing.
We heard something about scheduling, but I'm disappointed. I think a lot of Black Panther fans are disappointed. That's the only one not going to not on stage tonight.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Pia, we're going to be back with you in just a little bit to talk more about the races. But before we do that, I just wanted to get one thing. Netflix suddenly is a gigantic player in the Oscars this year because they have their first Best Picture nomination.
They do, with Roma. Roma has 10 nominations, including Best Picture. If it wins, it will be the only foreign language film to win Best Picture ever. So this could be a really monumental history-making year, not only for Roma, but for Netflix.
Yeah, and Netflix is basically the biggest threat to Hollywood, along with Amazon and Hulu and everything else.
I think it's becoming Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. All right, I'm going to go back to JD and Lola for just a little bit, and if they don't have someone with them, I have a special quiz for them.
All right, we don't have anyone
Are you
just
ready?
yet, so bring on the quiz.
Yeah,
bring it on. We're ready.
Hit me.
Are you ready? Okay. Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yes.
one of the biggest,
Yes.
hits in the Oscar race tonight. It's made something like $850 million around the world. It's a huge hit, but a lot of people are wondering about the historical accuracy of Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the biopic, of course, about Freddie Mercury and the band Queen. All right?
Yes.
Right. I'm with you.
And I know you've seen it, and I know you love it. So, I'm going to give you a little true or false questionnaire.
We're ready.
All right. True or false? In the movie, Freddie talks to his cats on the phone when he's on tour. True or false?
Can we phone a friend?
I need a lifeline.
That's the easiest question. It's the easiest question.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going on a limb because I think he did indeed speak to his cats on the telephone.
I'm going to go with what he said.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly right. All right.
Woo!
Freddie and Mary Austin.
Oh, yeah.
All right, another
One for
question.
one.
Freddie and Mary
All right,
Austin
we're ready.
remained
Mary Austin,
close
yeah.
after they broke up, even after she married. True or false?
Definitely true. That I do know.
Yeah, that
In
is true.
fact, she got a significant portion of his will, buried his ashes, and we don't know where till this day. Am I right? Am I right?
Exactly. They were actually even closer in real life than we see them in the film. Oh, somebody just arrived and everybody's
Somewhere
going
in
insane.
England.
We'll be back. All right. Not only did she inherit a lot of his estate, she actually worked as a secretary for the band, so they remained very, very close. All right, in Bohemian Rhapsody,
I was
true
right.
or false?
I was right. I was
In
right.
the movie, he overhears the Smile, the band Smile, lead singer Tim Staffel quitting, and he immediately auditions. Is that true or false?
Well, listen, I'm just going to say that it is a movie, and in a movie you would overhear somebody.
That's true.
Right, and then you would have your opportunity. So I'm going to actually say no. That is not how it really happened.
I like your logic. I'm going to go with no.
Right, that is not how it happened. There we go. See,
Yeah.
I knew it.
Three.
It's false.
We're really good at this game.
He actually already knew Brian May and Roger Taylor well before Tim Staffel quit the band Smile. He was roommates with them, so he was the natural choice to take over Smile as the lead singer, and that eventually became Queen. There was an EMI executive in the film named Ray Foster who told them Bohemian Rhapsody would never be a hit. Is that true?
I believe that is false because I'm not sure that EMI executive actually existed, or was he a composite character? I'm not sure.
And I know this because it took me a long time to figure this out.
Okay.
It's actually Mike Myers,
Okay.
who is totally unrecognizable to me.
All right.
And he is playing the executive.
That's right.
And that is because those of us who remember Wayne's World remember that he was in Wayne's World with Dana Carvey, and they sang Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's all a big in-joke. Are we too good at this quiz? Maybe we should.
No, you can never be
I don't
too
know.
good at
What
this
I want to
quiz.
know is, did he really work down at the airport? That's what I want to know. But anyway.
Who is not.
All right. You guys did very, very well, I think in large part because you may have seen the notes before I went to you.
Well, I was wondering if we should have pretended we didn't know better.
100% correct.
Wait,
All right.
what is our prize?
Come back
What
to
is
you
our
guys
prize?
in just a little bit.
Wait, Jess.
We'll give
Jess,
you a prize.
we want a prize.
You'll get a prize.
What's our prize?
Where's Wolfgang with the chocolate Oscars?
All right, we're going to figure
We'll
it
get
out
one of
later.
those.
All right. All right. So I'm coming back to EW's Jared Hall, and we're going to break down the song category. The Oscar for Original Song. This is the first category we're going to be breaking down tonight.
Yeah. So, well, let me go through the nominees.
Yeah.
So first we have All the Stars from Black Panther. That's the Kendrick and Lamar SZA song. I'll Fight from RBG. Kesha recorded that. Diane Warren wrote it, but performing it tonight is Jennifer Hudson. The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns. We already heard from Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. Bette Midler performing that tonight instead of Emily Blunt. A little song called Shallow that's kind of taken over radio that you might have heard of from A Star Is Born. Lady Gaga wrote that with Mark Ronson, several others, and she will, of course, be performing that tonight with Bradley Cooper. And then the last nominee in that category, When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings. That is from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and that will also be performed tonight. Okay, so look, if Shallow does not win this, I think it would be the biggest upset of the night. I mean, I can't imagine anything else beating it. Perhaps All the Stars is maybe in second, but I think it's a very, very far second place.
Yeah, Shallow seems to be the front runner. And also, these are, as Pia and I were saying earlier, it's really upsetting that Kendrick Lamar and SZA are not performing All the Stars tonight
so
for
disappointing.
scheduling reasons or whatever it is.
Right.
But you're going to have Bette Midler.
Yes.
You're going to have Jennifer Hudson doing
Yes.
RBG.
Yes.
You're going to have Jillian Welch and Dave Rawlings also doing
It's actually
When
a
a
great
Cowboy
song.
Trades His
Yeah.
Spurs for Wings.
Yeah, it's a great song. If you haven't heard it, I highly encourage you go check it out when we're done. You don't have to go listen to it right now.
I don't know,
Later.
but that movie is weird.
It is
I
a
didn't
weird
like
movie,
it.
but the song is so appropriate and fits so well into the movie. But Shallow, though, is just, it epitomizes everything you want from that movie. And of course, it is it's sprinkled throughout the movie, as opposed to like All the Stars just appears in the final credits for Black Panther. But Shallow is just, it is the heart and beating soul of that film. If it does not win, like I said, I will be shocked, as I think the rest of the Dolby Theater will be.
Do you know who else sings it really great? Kelly Clarkson.
Oh,
I know.
She's great.
Just by mentioning that, you might pass out. All right, before we
she's
get to the
amazing.
next category, just remind everybody, this is People and Entertainment Weekly's Red Carpet Live, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. And we're here in the bleachers of the Oscar red carpet. This is the People fan experience, so we're surrounded by VIPs and fans, and we've got JD and Lola Ganaki down on the carpet waiting on the nominees to arrive. And meanwhile, I'm here with Jared, and we are breaking down the Oscar categories, telling you who is going to win and who is not going to win.
We want you to win your pool, your office pool.
The office pool is going to be very important. Let's go to supporting actress, all right?
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you the, I'll give you the nominees, all right?
All right.
This is a good
Pay attention,
list
this
of
is a
nominees.
great category.
All right. Amy Adams, her sixth nomination, she's never won.
Shame.
It's for Vice. She plays Lynn Cheney, of all people.
She is fierce.
She ages from 20 to around 70 in the
Yes.
film.
Yeah.
She's brilliant. Again, sixth nomination, never won. I believe she's the Meryl Streep of her generation,
the Susan Lucci of the Oscars at this point.
The big surprise nominee here was Marina de Tavira in Roma.
Yes.
She sort of took the spot that we thought Emily Blunt might get for A Quiet Place.
Yeah. Emily Blunt won at the SAG Awards. She won this category.
Yeah, so she plays Sophia, a woman trying to keep her family together while her marriage is crumbling. She's got a great personal story. She's from a big family in Mexico, very respected in film and theater circles.
Yes,
She's a very respected film and theater actress as well. Hold on, I got my notes. Here we go. All right, next we have Regina King. Oh my gosh. In If
Personal
Beale
favorite.
Street Could Talk,
Yeah.
she plays Sharon.
Yes.
The mother of Tish, who's played by Kiki Lane.
Yes.
Whose husband Fonnie is accused of rape. And of course, this is based on the 1974 James Baldwin novel, and it's directed by Barry Jenkins.
It's phenomenal.
And kind of a surprise nomination also, because she wasn't nominated for the Screen Actors Guild.
Right, but she has won virtually every other award where she has been nominated, so that's what's interesting. And then you throw into the mix the two ladies from The Favorite, Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, who I think might kind of split the vote here. They're both phenomenal. They both give like these tour de force performances in this story of Queen Anne, and the two of them battling to be the favorite to the Queen, kind of the right-hand woman. But I think this is going to go to Regina King. She has this incredible momentum. Not just she, but the entire movie has. There's really been a big push the last few weeks. Oh, we have some streams going on. Some more stars heading onto the carpet here. But yeah, I think this might be Regina King's to lose. She has not done a film in 10 years because she's been focusing so much on TV, where she's also been winning a lot of Emmys, a lot of Golden Globes as well. She is. in this film, when it's when she takes that trip to Puerto Rico and she tries to get a woman who is accusing her daughter's boyfriend of rape to admit that this is not who raped you. It's just you can feel the desperation, the that sense of anguish that she just like, come on, look at his picture. This is not him, and you're just so heartbroken for her because they know he did not do this. But Amy Adams too, Jess. I don't know. Amy Adams.
Really?
I feel like Amy should have won an Oscar a long time ago.
Well,
but
she should have won. Starting with Junebug, she should win everything.
Yes, exactly. But I think it's going to be Regina's. I would not be upset if Amy or Rachel won, but I think it's Regina King's.
It's Rachel and Emma both had a really interesting time making the favorite, because they had to figure out what was true and what was not about Queen Anne and Abigail and Lady Sarah. And a lot of it is very based on fact, even though it's a very strange movie.
Yes, it is very strange. It's strange in kind of the best artistic way, and that's credit to Yorgos Lanthimos, who directed it. It is maybe a bit of an acquired taste. Yorgos has a very specific style of filmmaking, but I think it really pops with this film. If you've never seen any of his movies, this is kind of a nice introduction, and then maybe go back and check out some of the more obscure things that he has done. But yeah, they really latch onto every single word of this movie and just make it come to life. And Olivia Colman as well. But yeah, they are phenomenal in this.
All right, and Jared, I'm going to be right back to you with Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's an exciting race also.
Right?
But we're going to go back to JD and Lola, who have an amazing celebrity with them on the red carpet.
Who's down there?
That's right.
All right. Hi, guys. We are with Amandla Stenberg. You know her from The Hate U Give, from The Hunger Games, from amazing films. And she looks incredible tonight.
Yes, you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So do you.
Thank you so
I want
much.
to say one thing. A lot of people don't know this, but her mother also used to work at People.
This is facts. My mom is here. She's right there.
Hi, Mom.
Her mother, Karen, who worked at People for a long time.
Yes, she
She's
said.
giving us the thumbs up.
Because she loves people, of course. Yeah.
Say that again a little louder, please.
My mom loves people.
That's right.
Both like literally and metaphorically, and yeah.
So you are one of young Hollywood's brightest stars. What's it feel like for you to be here this evening on the red carpet? What's going through your mind as you sashay and swan through this glorious room?
Oh my God, that's a really beautiful way of putting it. Thank you for that. It feels amazing. I feel like slightly overwhelmed, but also really excited and really honored and nervous to present tonight, but also just exhilarated to be in a room filled with people that I respect so much, that I look up to so much, whose work is being celebrated this year. Like, to be in the center of where that's happening is just a huge honor, and it makes me feel so inspired.
Now, you grew up in LA, but I wonder, did you ever think you wouldn't be a performer? Did you ever think, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon?
At one point I thought I was going to be a teacher, but then I got a little bit older and kids stopped being like as cute to me. You know?
It happens.
And I was like, that seems kind of overwhelming. I kind of wanted to be a musician at one point. I still do. Yeah, eventually, in some way, in some capacity.
Well, speaking of music, what gets you inspired to walk down this red carpet? Do you have a playlist, or is there a certain musician that you listen to get you ready, to get you in the mood to be fierce?
We were keeping it real chill today. We were listening to John Coltrane and just some jazz and relaxing, but definitely right before I got here, I listened to Nice by the Carters. That's one of my favorite songs.
Let's talk about your hit film, The Hate U Give.
Yeah, sure.
You really spearheaded this project. It was a passion project for you, and I know that you put a lot of time and a lot of emotional investment in making that a reality. There were some bumps in the road, but you were committed to making that happen. Walk us through why it was important for you to stay the course and get that book to the screen.
Sure, yeah. Well, the book by Angie Thomas is just one of the most, I think, powerful pieces of material of literature that I've read, in terms of its power to speak to these experiences that are really highly politicized, but don't necessarily always have the humanity afforded to them that they should. And so that was what it was about for me. It deeply moved me when it came to being able to represent experiences of those who are actually affected by police brutality, who are actually going through generational trauma, through generational poverty, and bringing that to the screen so that people could both connect to it and relate to it, but also so that people who didn't relate to it could understand that we are people with real hearts and lives and experiences. And so that was kind of the motivating force behind all of it. And there were some bumps in the road here and there, but I think it all really started with Angie Thomas and her just kind of having the courage to put her heart into something like that and wanting to make that a reality on screen.
And if you haven't read the book, you really need to. It's an amazing book. We can't let you go without asking one last question, and that's about your dress. It's an amazing.
It is a knockout, a knockout. Definitely one of the best dressed already.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That's very sweet.
Okay, what made you say yes to this dress?
I chose this dress last night. What? Down to the wire. I think this one just made me feel kind of tough and soft at the same time, so that's why I really liked it. Because this chain kind of makes me feel tougher, and I like how this kind of looks like ribs or something like that. But at the same time, it's like obviously soft and kind of neutral. So, yeah.
And you're a woman who looks good, rocking both tough and soft. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna let you go enjoy yourself. Give your mom a big hug for us. Tell her that we love her for loving people. Thank you.
Will do.
Take care.
That is amazing.
She was fantastic, right?
She's one of the
Tough
best.
and soft. That's what I'm going for.
And
that's great. Oh, all right. We're gonna be back to you guys in just a minute, and I am back here with Jared because I know everybody's waiting to hear who is going to win supporting actor. Let's go through the nominees. Mahershala Ali,
Yes, phenomenal.
for Green Book. This, if he wins tonight, it will be his second Oscar
Number 2
in 3 years.
Yes,
Yeah, he went
yes.
from Moonlight a couple of years
Right.
ago. Adam Driver in BlackKKlansman.
Amazing movie, powerful movie, sly performance from him. I love it.
He plays Flip Zimmerman,
Yes.
right? Who may or may not be a real character, because in the memoir
Right.
on which it's based, that Ron Stallworth wrote about
Right.
his time infiltrating the KKK,
Yes.
he actually did not give up the names of of the detectives who helped him do it.
Very
So,
loyal of him.
Yes.
Staying tight-lipped there. Yeah.
Because he didn't want the Klan to come after
Of
them,
course.
right?
Yes.
This is he's probably was not Jewish in real life, but they made him Jewish in the movie to raise the stakes a little
Yes,
bit.
and
right?
it worked very well.
Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. He plays Bradley Cooper's older brother, Bobby Maine. Sam Elliott, 74 years old.
First Oscar nomination. First Oscar nomination. That's kind of mind-blowing to me because he's always just so great, solid, delivers a wonderful performance. But if he did not make you cry during this movie, I don't know what did. I mean, that look when Bradley leaves him after he just told him, "You were my hero," and he turns around and he's backing that truck out and those tears are just holding right there. Oh, it makes me emotional thinking about it right now. And then of course the conversation that he and Lady Gaga have later in the movie. It's he's so good in this.
He's also beloved in Hollywood,
Yes,
and
he is.
really, even though it's his first Oscar nomination, a very, very respected actor.
Absolutely, because he's just a stand-up guy as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever interviewed him. He is so nice and kind, warm, welcome, and talented to boot. So
His first movie was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's how long he's been in the business.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Richard E. Grant. And Can You Ever Forgive Me? Also, like a lot of these guys in this category, plays a real character.
Yes.
He plays Jack Hawk. He's the friend and accomplice of Lee Israel, the noted literary forger, played by Melissa McCarthy. And he's amazing. Also, his first Oscar.
Also his first, also beloved by Hollywood. The two of those as a duo in that film, they're electric together. And especially his stuff, I would say the last 20 minutes or so of the film, he's just phenomenal. And then Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush Vice. I mean, I think he's great. Happy to be nominated, but he's I think Mahershala, this is his to lose. The momentum is his.
Guess who's right there with JD and Lola? 10-time Oscar nominee Diane Warren. JD and Lola, take it away.
Oh, hi. We're actually here with the amazing Terence Blanchard, who
And
is
his
an
beautiful
incredible,
wife.
has done all the movies with Spike Lee, incredible musician, and his beautiful wife, Robin Burgess.
Now, this is my idea of a date night, you guys. Wonderful.
This is really cool. This is cool. Definitely.
Now, you have done a lot of work with Spike, and one of the things you've told me is that it is incredible to work with him because he's so meticulous. He doesn't just know about, you know, the surface stuff. He's on every little digit, everything. Down
Well,
to the final.
he's very knowledgeable about music, man. He tries to act like he's not, but he is. But the other side of it, though, he's very loyal, and he gives us a lot of room. If he hires you, he trusts you, he gives you so much room. And the thing about it for me is that it makes me work hard because you never want to let him down.
Now, Terence, you've composed more than 40 soundtracks, more than 40. And this is your first Oscar nomination. How special is it for you to be here this evening?
It's extremely special just because of everything that's been going on. You know, at the nominees luncheon, I was standing next to Regina King to see the diverse group of people, to see all types of women being acknowledged, and to share it with Barry and Spike. We've been working together for 30 years. I've been saying to myself, I'm proud to be a part of the class of the 91st Academy Awards.
Now, Robin, behind every successful man, there's a strong woman. Walk us through what role you may play directly or inadvertently in helping him compose the score.
I'm his manager, so I negotiate the contracts.
Nice!
This is the best arrangement ever.
Yes,
we keep that percentage in the
Keep
family.
The
there we
at
go.
The crib.
Yeah, so you're keeping that 10% at home.
I do.
That's amazing.
My own kitty.
It's more like 15, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
20.
But you know what they say, happy wife, happy life.
Yes, indeed. I try to keep her as happy as I can. Make sure about
There's
that.
one other thing I just want to say because it's Black History Month. Regardless of what happens, he is the second or third African American to ever be nominated in this category.
Yeah.
I think that that's just phenomenal, and I'm proud of him for making that history.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
it's great to see you guys. One last question before we let you go. I know this is a special moment for all of you who work with Spike because it could happen tonight after so many years. Did you guys talk about it before you showed up? Do you think about it?
No, we haven't really talked about it. I mean, you know, the thing that I love about working with Spike is that he really loves making movies. That's been his passion for 30 years. If he's acknowledged tonight, man, it'll be extremely wonderful. But it won't change who he is in terms of the passion that he has for making these stories. But it'll be a sea change in what happens in the Oscars and how other people should be recognized as well, because he's not the only one. There are others, too, that should be here.
Well, we're going to let you two lovebirds get on in there. Keep your hands on that check, girl. Good to see you.
Thank
and
you. She's getting 20%.
Yeah, and we're going to toss to our fearless leader, Jess Cagle. Hi, Jess. How you doing up there?
Hey, thanks. That was I love him. Just the best. All right. I'm back here with Pia. All right? Now, we're going to just take a moment. And a lot of people like to talk about the big mistakes that Oscar has made over the years, or the Oscar fails. There have been a few. And those times when, like, somebody won an award in a certain year, and then everybody regrets it years later, all right?
Yeah.
So, and they're always kind of shocking. So I'm going to read out the list of Oscar fails that most people agree are fails, and I'm going to see if you agree.
Okay,
all
let's
right?
do it.
In 1941.
We're going back.
Just when you were just a small child,
Tiny.
Pia.
Very little.
How Green Was My Valley beat Citizen Kane for Best Picture.
Okay, isn't that insane to think? Citizen Kane is one of the most famous, all-time notable movies, most prestigious. You know, it's in every history book of cinema. So to not have had that win Best Picture just seems surreal.
Right. I think if Black Panther doesn't win tonight, it very well may be one of those moments where they look back and went, oh, that should have won. Huge cultural moment. Oh, well, we're going to go back to, we're going to go, well, more of these later, but back to JD and Lola.
Let's do it.
We are here,
we're here
with
with
the
Constance.
extraordinary Constance Wu, star of one of the biggest films of the year, Crazy Rich Asians. Tell us how special today is for you.
I mean, it's overwhelming. I've never in a million years thought I would be somewhere like this. And so I'm just trying to soak it all in and celebrate with my fellow castmates who are here, and celebrate all the great artists and actors and filmmakers here today, and the work that they did over this year.
So I remember you telling me that one of the most fun parts of making the film was being in the car, listening to music with, you know, the couples together, and you're sort of singing with your friend. And then the worst part, or one of the hardest parts, was eating all that food. You did like a lot of takes in the food market, right?
Well, no, the best part was eating the food the first time. When you have done it for like 3 hours, take after take,
Right.
that
So
it
it
gets
was
a
both
little
the best
difficult.
and the worst.
I mean, the food is delicious, but anything after 3 hours might be a little much.
When you first got your hands on this script, the book was phenomenal. I've read it twice. I gave it to all my friends to read. It was already a bestseller. But when you got your hands on this script, did you know that it would be one of the biggest films of the year? And did you know that it would have both the cultural impact that it did and do gangbusters at the box office as well?
I mean, I definitely knew that the book had an audience, and it wasn't just an Asian American audience. People enjoyed the book, they loved the book, so I knew we had that fan base going for us. And the fact that it hasn't been done in 25 years, Hollywood studios haven't made a major motion picture with Asian Americans in the leads in 25 years. So I feel like it was long overdue and people wanted to see new stories, and that's what we gave them.
Now, I know you guys are all over the world, so how do you keep in touch? I know you're a close cast, but you're in like 4 different countries. So.
More, like all over the place. We use WhatsApp mostly. We have a group chat. We have different group chats.
Excellent.
Okay, now what can you tell us about a sequel? We're trying to break some news here on the red carpet. Tell us everything. Tell us everything. What can we expect?
All I know is that I'll be acting in it if it happens. If you have to ask the producers that question, I have no idea.
Well, we'll leave you with that cliffhanger, and we'll figure it out. That's so exciting.
Thank you, guys. Thank
you so much. And really quickly, this dress. Talk to us about what made you decide that this was the one for the red carpet this evening. And hello, yellow. It's beautiful.
This was actually made custom for me by Versace. So we designed it, or they designed a few dresses, and this one just made me feel happy, so I chose that.
You've made us extraordinarily happy today. Thank you so much for being here. Go have a great time inside. Thank you.
All right, Jess Cagle. That was pretty fun.
That was fantastic.
That was wonderful.
I know, that was super fun. That was Constance Wu. And by the way, I missed part of that interview because all of a sudden there was this massive eruption of cheers in the bleachers here, and when Spike Lee walked by in a purple tuxedo, and it was amazing. All right, we're here with Pia, and we're gonna break down one of the best categories tonight. I am really excited about this one.
It's a great category.
The lead actress category.
I love it.
The first actress, Yalitza Aparicio, the nominee from Roma.
Yes.
An amazing story for this actress.
I just love this story so much. Yalitza was a newly graduated teacher. She was looking for a job in her town, and her sister was meant to go audition for this, but her sister found out she was pregnant. So she decided to send Yalitza in her place. Yalitza beat out some like 3,000 candidates for this role. It's her first time acting. And she just delivers a spectacular performance in this movie. It's really breathtaking. I love her story so much because talk about, really sort of just having this great breakthrough moment. And she's the first ever Indigenous Mexican actress to be nominated at the Oscars ever. So I love these things about her. And she's so sweet. She's been such an award season darling.
I know, she really has. She really has. Also, she plays, the woman she plays, Cleo, is based on Alfonso Cuarón's own nanny, if that's the right word, who basically raised him from the time he was 9 months old. And you can see the love that he feels for that character. You can see how protective he feels in every frame of that movie. And Yalitza just does such a beautiful job with it. So
I completely agree. It's beautiful. It's such a gorgeous performance.
Okay, the next nominee here is Glenn Close.
Glenn Close.
7th nomination. She's
crazy.
never won.
I just can't believe this, by the way. How has Glenn Close never won an Oscar? But I'm really hoping, I think we can see things change tonight.
I think we might. And by the way, I have an answer to that question. How has Glenn Close never won an Oscar? Oh, gosh. Well, you know what? We're going to come back to Glenn Close in just a minute, Pia, because now we actually do have 10-time Oscar nominee Diane Warren. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes, here she
Diane
is.
Warren, here she is.
10-time nominee, 32 top 10 songs, something like that?
Yeah, I have no idea, because I only think forward.
Now, Diane's nominated for RBG, and she has brought with her...
RBG decided to come with me.
She looks very healthy. We don't have to worry.
Healthy. She's smaller than you thought, right?
Is she granting interviews?
Yep. No.
No. Well, I like to see that she's in good shape and that she seems to be working out, doing the treadmill, loves her opera. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved with this project.
Bonnie Greenberg, my friend over there, told me about the movie, and I was never going to say no to that. And I love writing songs that, you know, that can say something. The last few songs I've been nominated for, you know, last year it was Stand Up for Something with Andrea Day in Common and Lady Gaga, Till It Happens to You, and Now I'll Fight. So I felt like it was the third song in the trilogy. You know.
It's one thing to write a hit song, Diane. It's another thing to write a song that's nominated for an Oscar.
How cool is that? And that's 10 times.
Walk us through your process. And when you are coming up with these beautiful melodies and these words, do you have the idea of an award in the back of your mind at all?
No, I mean, I'm trying to write a great song. You know, it's always like, you know, you always hope if it's a song in a movie that it gets a shot. So, and I've been really lucky. I was here last year. I've been nominated, 10 times.
Is there a difference between writing a great pop song and writing a song for a movie? I mean, you've done both.
No, because I try to have them all to be. I mean, to me, everything I write is a pop song.
Right.
You know, so it's just, it could be a song that makes you feel good or a song that makes you think or feel. You know, I mean, I'm a pop songwriter, so. You know.
I've interviewed a number of songwriters throughout the years. Some of them have melodies come to them in the shower. Some go out walking and in their nature and something comes to them. Is there a particular place that is more inspiring to you than others?
I mean, usually when I'm sitting at the keyboard or a guitar. I mean, I'm not one of those people that wake up, I dreamed a full song. That hasn't happened to me yet.
Well, we're wishing you good luck tonight. It's
Thank you.
amazing that you've been here so many times. You're gonna.
Gaga's gonna win. You know, it's so funny. They're saying, all the prognosticators, it's a wide open race, except the song category. So it's all good.
Well, you know, anything can happen at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's true.
And, and it may just do it. And you've got your lucky Ruth.
Well, yeah, I hope RBG wins for my for these girls, you guys.
All right, thanks. So, Jess, we're going back to you. We did indeed interview Diane Warren after all, so I know you're excited.
Diane Warren she's like the prom queen of Hollywood. Like, everybody loves Diane Warren. And man, it would be nice to see her win an Oscar at some point.
Would love that.
Speaking of multiple nominees, let's go back to the Best Actress race. And we talked about Yalitza Aparicio.
Correct.
Then we were talking about Glenn Close.
And how has Glenn Close never won an Oscar before?
I have an answer for that. That wasn't rehearsed at all. Okay, here's how Glenn Close hasn't won. She's nominated 7 times as of tonight, all right? Yes. The first time, The World According to Garp. She was beaten by Jessica Lange in Tootsie. She was nominated for The Big Chill, beaten by Linda Hunt in The Year of Living Dangerously. By the way, you can't really argue with any of these, but she was great in all of them. The Natural, she was nominated for that, beaten by Dame Peggy Ashcroft in A Passage to India. And anybody can tell you that Dame Peggy is hard to beat.
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction. I mean, come on. She was nominated for that.
To me, that would have been a win in my opinion.
Wait until I tell you who beat her. Cher in Moonstruck.
Okay, maybe that's.
I know. Okay, I know.
Glenn on that one.
Dangerous Liaisons. Jodie Foster in The Accused beat her for that. And when she was nominated for Albert Nobbs a couple of years ago, a real small movie, a passion project of Glenn's, she was beaten by Meryl Streep in The Iron Lady.
I mean, I will say she's kind of been beaten by these absolute best of the best.
I know.
So maybe
the
that's
best
not
of the
the
best.
worst, but I
All
really
right.
hope she wins tonight.
Lead actress category, Yalitza Aparicio. We just went on, talked about Glenn Close, her 7th nomination. Olivia Colman in The Favorite plays Queen Anne, and she's brilliant.
I absolutely adore Olivia Colman as a Brit. I have grown up watching her across TV, in comedies and dramas, in small roles, in larger roles. She's incredible. So for her to finally have this big breakout moment in Hollywood is just so well deserved. She's really put the work in. And honestly, this is just one of the best performances I've seen out of anybody this year.
Yeah, she's having
Queen
a
Anne
great.
was incredible.
She's having a great moment because
She
she's also going to play Queen Elizabeth in the next season of The Crown.
Yes.
Right?
The
so
Tale
cool.
of Two Queens.
And of course, there's Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born.
Now, this is something that I just, Lady Gaga blew me away. I think she blew everybody away. That first half of the film, she completely disappears into playing Ali, this ingenue on the rise, and she's so endearing. I was just so surprised to see a performance like that from her. It's very different to when we saw her do American Horror Story.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well,
she's
she's not a vampire in this one.
No, that's true. She just kind of stripped herself back.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. And then, I mean, you really feel her journey and her rise and the tragedy of it all. So I just thought that was a spectacular performance.
And then finally, one of my favorite people on the planet, who's just she's such a nice person, and she's so funny, and she's so talented, and is nominated tonight for Can You Ever Forgive Me, playing a really dramatic role, which we have not really seen her do before, and that's Melissa McCarthy.
Goodness me. Melissa's performance in this movie is stunning. It's so devastating at times, and it's really hard to see her not kind of push through with a performance like this as a front runner. But I also think she was up against some strong contenders. I just love Melissa's versatility. She can do anything, and that's such a difficult thing to do when you're an actress, to be able to showcase that in Hollywood across a variety of roles. She keeps doing it. She picks these gorgeous, incredible roles, and I'm constantly I just love being able to watch her. It's always unexpected.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Who's going to win this category tonight?
I honestly think, given the award season momentum, it feels like it's Glenn closest to lose, and I think just it's a career highlight for her, so I'm hoping that will be Glenn's, but there's a lot of great performances there.
Yeah, well, we have a quick interview with Glenn from the EW Awardist series, and we're going to go to that right now.
That's it.
It's so gratifying because it was a little independent film. It was called The Wife. Nobody wanted to make a movie called The Wife. I had to find a British actor to be my husband in a movie called The Wife. That's a tricky role, and he is superb. He actually breaks my heart in this role. That's why it's a very, very complex relationship. I think she knows him extremely well. I think she doesn't necessarily like him all the time. Right. You know, you can love somebody and not like them. But we spent a week around the table, reading scenes, discussing character. I went with Jane Anderson, our wonderful screenwriter, and Bjorn Runge, our director. It was like fine-tuning every, page by page by page by page. I had to answer for myself the question, why doesn't she leave him? So answering that question, I think really, and working with Jonathan, I think really was the reason why it developed into such a complex relationship.
Don't ever think that you can get their approval. Who's? The men.
Because it was called The Wife, and because the character was mainly an older woman, very hard to make. But now that it was made based on a novel written by a woman, a screenplay written by a woman, we have a woman editor, we have a woman composer, so it represents where I hope we're going, and that there'll be more productions with equality like that.
Hey there, welcome back to the People and Entertainment Weekly Red Carpet Live. We're here in the bleachers of the Oscars, and this is the Oscar fan experience. We're surrounded by fans and VIPs, and I've got JD and Lola down on the carpet, and they are interviewing all the stars as they come by. And I want to give a special shout out to Twitter, because people all over the world are going nuts. And we're hashtag Red Carpet Live. And Jared,
they're changing for Danny Glover.
I know. That's what it is, Danny Glover. By the way, in my ear, they kept telling me not to turn around so much, because I wanted to look at Danny Glover. I've never seen a movie star before. I know. Now, you love Twitter. They're all over the...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Say hi to everybody on
hello,
Twitter.
Twitter. Hi, all over the world. Yes, they're tuning in. Of course, this is one of the biggest nights, not just in Hollywood, but everyone around the world tuning in to see who wins Oscars. I mean, you look at some of the, the global box office totals for some of these movies, and it's very clear there are people all over the world who love Bohemian Rhapsody and Black Panther.
Bohemian Rhapsody, almost $1 billion worldwide.
Yes,
like 850 million.
Yeah,
something.
it's great. Of course, I mean, Queen had enormous global appeal, and people are tuning in to see the story, the behind the scenes of that band.
All right, we're going to do the lead actor category. We're going to break it down. Oh, wait. You know what? We're not going to do it. We're going to come back to that, because right now we're going to go to JD and Lola.
Look at that tux on him.
that is right. You are not doing any more because we have Stefan James here who is wearing a maple leaf colored tuxedo, supporting Toronto.
A little ode to Canada.
Yeah, a little ode to Canada. Now, you were in Beale Street, which is an amazing. Tell us a little bit about how you got that part, why it was important to you.
Oh, man, I've been such a big fan of Barry Jenkins for a long, long time. And it's just so funny. You find out that he's making this film. You find out that it's a James Baldwin adaptation. And then you just beg to be a part of it. So that was sort of the steps that we took. And I'm so happy that Barry believed in me and trusted me with the opportunity.
Do you remember your audition for this role? How nervous were you walking into the room?
Yeah, what's crazy is I did a self-tape. So that eases the nerves a little bit. But I had lunch with Barry for the first time after sending him that self-tape. And that was a little nerve-wracking.
So how'd you get through it? And tell us what you ate.
I think I took a shot of vodka right before we sat down, just to calm my nerves.
Try that at home.
But don't do that at home. But it was awesome. He's so cool, and it gave me no reason to feel nervous at all.
Now let's talk about this tuxedo.
Yeah.
We love that men are deciding to bring it on the red carpet today.
We can't let the ladies show us up all the time, right?
No
We got to
way.
bring a little something.
Well, I don't know if I could pull that off, but I love the pin, too. Look at that.
Oh, thank you.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is you're an artist in the film. You're a sculptor. You work with wood. Did you get to sort of do that yourself? Are those your pieces? Did you learn?
Absolutely. I had a great teacher who showed me how to sculpt with wood and showed me how to sculpt with tools, chisels, if you will, that were from the 70s. So
Wow.
it's wood carving today is much different than wood carving in the 60s and 70s. So it was interesting to learn about
So
it.
that
I love
piece
that you
gave
have that
Regina
bun
is the
back.
piece you did.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Fonnie did that piece.
Wow, Vonnie did it. I want a Vonnie. I think we all should get. Do you have some?
Yeah, we all get one. You get one,
Everybody gets one. That's so exciting. Well,
tell us upcoming projects, anything we should keep our eyes open for, because we want to see you again and again.
Definitely. Well, obviously check out Homecoming. That's on Amazon right now. But I have a film coming out this summer with Chadwick Boseman and J.K. Simmons called 17 Bridges, which is really exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for supporting Toronto and Ontario.
All the time.
And coming over here. This is great.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, take care.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you
So we're back to you, Jess Cagle, and all the amazing things that you're doing up in the nosebleeds of the Oscars.
Yeah. I'm doing some amazing things. By the way, Stefan James is doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
That was a big year for him. And besides, if Beale Street could talk, Homecoming is so good.
Yeah, when you can go toe-to-toe with Julia Roberts the way
I know.
did. Yeah,
and those
great
scenes
work.
with Stefan James and Julia Roberts in that show are phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, so here with Jared Hall, and we're breaking down the lead actor category, all right? So number one, okay, Christian Bale, nominated for Vice. He plays Dick Cheney.
Plays Dick Cheney, but I felt like I was never watching Christian Bale. I was never watching an actor. I felt like I was watching Dick Cheney the entire time.
And it was awful. Kidding. No, it was great and terrifying.
I mean, just what he made you think about in the long term, I think, is a real testament to Christian Bale's ability as an actor. That he made you really think about a character, a real person's motivations, and I was captivated the entire time watching him in that film.
Spent 4 to 8 hours every day in the makeup chair. This guy, Greg Canham, did his look and turned him into Dick Cheney. Greg Canham is also nominated tonight, and he's won Oscars for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
He won an Oscar, I believe, for Mrs. Doubtfire as well. So there's a lot of Oscar nominations around Vice, obviously. Okay.
Very well deserved.
Number two, Bradley Cooper.
So Bradley Cooper, I mean, a lot of people are very upset he did not get the director nomination, but of course he is nominated for actor, and he's great as Jackson Maine. The anguish that you feel from him, as he's an alcoholic, he has hearing problems, so it makes him his ability to do his job very difficult. And then this woman enters his life and kind of completely does a 180 for him. Though, is it enough to really help him? Well, we see where the movie goes. But yeah, I felt everything that he was trying to convey, and he's so good. And to top it off, that he was going from behind the camera to in front of it and doing all that at the same time. Great job from him. I don't think he's going to win, but nonetheless, his performance is incredible.
Yeah, and he will he'll have a big moment on the Oscars tonight because he and Lady Gaga are going to perform Shallow.
Yeah,
and
I'm very nervous about it.
Oh, is he really?
Yes, he is. I'd be, wouldn't you?
Well, I guess,
but he's this worldwide audience, as we know.
It's not like he hasn't sung before an audience before.
No, that's true.
But he's not going to be performing as Jackson Maine. He's performing
correct.
as himself.
Yeah, so I understand where the nerves come from.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll put on that alter ego, and that'll help a bit.
I was most impressed with his singing in the movie. That's the thing that impressed me the most.
With Roger Love is a fantastic vocal coach. Spent a lot of time working with him.
All right, here's another nominee. Are you ready? Willem Dafoe for a movie called At Eternity's Gate. And I'm going to admit something. Before Oscar morning, I totally forgot this movie existed.
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of voters did as well. I mean, Willem Dafoe, he's one of those actors who, anytime you watch, he's always so good. I don't think he's ever done a bad film. Well, maybe Spider-Man. But that aside, no, he's always so great, so committed, and it's just a master at what he does. I think he feels very fortunate to have the nomination, but yeah, he's not going to win.
Yeah, it's his fourth nomination.
Yeah.
He was nominated last year, I believe, for the Florida Project.
Yes.
He's beloved.
He is.
And so I think that's part of the reason that he was nominated for this. He's beloved. And by the way, he plays Vincent Van Gogh in the movie, and it's a high-end movie. It was directed by Julian Schnabel.
Yes.
So it's a great
Who
painter.
knows art? If you know anything about Julian Schnabel, he
Exactly.
knows art, and yeah, it's a great film, but
yeah, not a commercial film. No. All right. Then we have Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody.
I think this, at this point, is Rami's to lose. Rami has been picking up award after award, as we've seen the rest of the award season play out. For a while, it was Christian Bale, but Rami has kind of taken over because the movie has taken over. Bohemian Rhapsody, audiences love this film. Audiences love it a little more than critics do, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the side of audiences with this one. I was along for the entire ride, and Rami, kind of like Christian Bale in those regards, is so transformative, and I did not think I was watching, the guy from Mr. Robot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons he may win tonight. We'll get to that in just a second. First, Viggo Mortensen.
Okay, so Green Book is one of those films. Like with Can You Ever Forgive Me, the way Melissa McCarthy and Richard E. Grant are kind of electric on screen, I feel the same way about Mahershala Ali and Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Their scenes together are just, I felt like I was in on the conversation. I felt like, I don't know, just every single scene together, which by the way is the majority of the movie, is just the two of them in scenes talking and kind of breaking down these racial barriers. Viggo's character is he's pretty racist.
Yeah, he's a racist.
Yes, very much racist. This Italian-American who has a lot of opinions about black people, and he becomes the driver for Mahershala Ali, who's playing this very famous pianist, Dr.
Don Shirley.
Shirley,
Yeah.
thank you. Viggo, in another year, I think he could have won this. He is so great in this movie, but he would have an uphill battle tonight, and I don't think he has enough momentum going.
Yeah, it's his third nomination.
Yeah.
I think his co-star Mahershala is probably going to win his category, or at least is considered the front runner. Who is going to take home the Oscar for lead actor tonight? If it is not Viggo Mortensen.
I gotta say Rami Malek.
I think so too.
I think it's Rami's, yeah, and especially with just some of the speeches he's given lately, and there's a lot to be said. His character, Freddie Mercury, died from AIDS-related pneumonia. Richard E. Grant's character in Can You Ever Forgive Me, he also contracted HIV, died from that. So there's kind of a bigger kind of social statement as well going on with this, and Queen is opening the show, so I think that kind of says something too about all this. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rami
Malek for Best Actor.
Yeah.
The other one who's kind of maybe neck and neck with him is Christian Bale, who was the front runner for a while.
Yes, he was, and he already has an Oscar. Not that means he can't win another one, but Christian, he's so transformative in this, and Adam McKay wanted him from the beginning. He wrote the role with him in mind. He put on the weight for it, so it's one of those physical transformation performances, as well as all of the makeup and everything he had to do. But he's a very committed actor. He's so great at what he does. I mean, you look at his resume. Christian, I don't think has ever put in a bad performance either.
All right, we're going to come back to you in a minute, Jared, and now we're going to go down to JD and Lola, who are there on the carpet ready to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we are. We're ready to talk to two people from a super movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We have Jake Johnson and Shamik Moore here.
How are you guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty exciting what happened with this film. It sort of has just been an awards darling. Everybody's excited about it. Did you see that coming when you got involved?
I did not. I hope so. You know, we had Phil Lord and Chris Miller, our producers, who are brilliant, and so I knew that the movie would be good, but this has far exceeded expectations.
Shamik, what's it been like for you seeing this overwhelmingly positive reaction to the film? It's been so embraced by fans.
What's it been like? I'm thankful. That's what I mean. That's the ultimate overall feeling. I didn't write the film. I didn't animate it, but I was thankful that my voice could match what needed to be there in order to help elevate what was going on and bring the vision to life. And man, I'm thankful. I'm blessed, and we made it to the Oscars. That's how I feel. It's just like, whoa.
And you made it to the Oscars in grand style.
Yeah,
Can we please talk about this buttery leather tuxedo with these Versace pins and these gold accents in your hair? Walk us through how this look came together.
Hey, look, honestly, this is custom Versace. You know what I mean? And I think we could leave it at that. You know, we got some nice jewelry going on, and you know, I have a great team to help get me together. Shout out to Lux Law, Laura Roach, and everybody involved at Versace and getting me ready today. But yeah, you know.
When you do voiceover work, when you're thinking about the character, is it strange to see the animated version of what they've come up with? Do you have an image in your mind like, wait a minute, I would have done that differently? Or what's that like to see the representation of yourself?
I didn't have an opinion of it before. I was just excited to see what they did with it, because I know that they animated around our performance and movements, so you do see a lot of yourself in the way those characters move.
Right. My mom was watching, and she was like, "Oh, it looks like you." And like, for me, I'm looking at it like I don't even really, how do I say it? I'm watching it, and the fact that it's my voice, I'm like, oh, but it doesn't feel like I'm looking at myself and whatnot. But like people that know me will be like, "Yo, those are your mannerisms," and you know, and they did their job. You know, people have been connecting, and it's relatable. And this guy is hilarious in the film, Peter Parker.
Oh, man.
And you know, it's great to be working alongside a great.
Oh, my man,
you know
back at you. Back at you, friend.
Why do you think this film has been so well received, so embraced, and so critically acclaimed?
I think part of it is the message that anybody can wear a mask. You've got a whole bunch of different looking and different gender spider people.
Yep.
And then I also just think it's a really fun, funny, action-packed movie.
Right.
Now, you guys, when you walk down the street or you're just doing an everyday transaction and you speak, do people sometimes think, wait, where have I heard that voice before? Do they recognize it?
In some situations, it's happened. It's not as. I mean, if I'm like, yeah, you know, I did this movie and whatnot, people are like, oh yeah, I hear it now, you know. But sometimes it's like, oh, I recognize the voice. Sometimes.
If you ever yell Brooklyn, everybody will know.
Right. Right.
Can you give us a Brooklyn before we let you go inside?
Brooklyn!
There you go. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Great
you so
to see
much.
you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
So we're going to go back to Jess, Brooklyn. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we're here not in Brooklyn, and Jess is a little bit closer to Brooklyn in the outer borough of the Oscar ceremony. So we're going back to you, Jess.
That's nice. What's it like down there amid all the action? No, they didn't hear me. Sorry. All right, I'm here with Pia. All right. But by the way, wherever Pia is, that's where the action is. All right. Just to hit reset, I want to tell everybody you're watching the People in Entertainment Weekly Red Carpet Live. We are here in the bleachers of the Oscars, giving you a bird's eye view of the red carpet. Just saw Michelle Yeoh down there in this incredible silver gown. I loved seeing it.
It's my favorite so far,
We are brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, and we've got JD and Lola down on the carpet interviewing stars. But in the meantime, we are helping you win your Oscar pool by breaking down all the categories. Now, Pia, let's talk about the directing category for just a second.
It's a very interesting race this year, right?
Really, it's always an interesting race, but particularly this year. Partially because of this first nominee I want to discuss, Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, who we just saw. And he got a huge round of applause here. This is an incredible moment for Spike Lee. He has never received a directing nomination at the Oscars.
Which is insane.
Isn't that crazy? He actually got an honorary Oscar 3 years ago,
Yeah.
for his achievements in directing.
Because they were embarrassed that they'd never nominated him before. It's an outrage.
It is an outrage. So the fact is, this is his first Oscar directing nomination, and honestly, it's difficult to see him not win this, given that it's his first, but he does have some strong competition.
He's got very strong competition. Obviously, the movie is BlackKKlansman, based on the true story of a detective named Ron Stallworth, who was an African-American detective who infiltrated the KKK. Obviously, it was not easy, and it is a brilliant movie based on Ron Stallworth's memoir. All right, the next director is someone largely unfamiliar to American audiences, Paweł Pawlikowski, who's a brilliant Polish filmmaker who directed Cold War, which is one of the foreign language films nominated this year.
Correct, and Cold War is based on the story of his own parents.
Yeah.
This massive, epic love story set in the backdrop of the Cold War, spanning about 2 decades. It's a really beautiful, poetic movie, and it's clearly a passion project for him. So it was really lovely to see him recognized for this. And it's another black and white, stunning film.
Oh my gosh.
We're hearing
Sorry,
something.
I know. Guess who it is? Guess who it is? It's Octavia Spencer. She just walked by.
Love Octavia.
Truly the queen of the Oscars, Octavia Spencer.
She is incredible.
She is, she's down there somewhere. Oh, and here on our monitors, Regina King also.
Oh, here we go. Regina is here.
Anyway, but people are cheering down there for Octavia. Yorgos Lanthimos, the director of The Favorite.
So Yorgos Lanthimos is one of my all-time favorite directors. If you've ever seen a movie, The Lobster, or even Killing of a Sacred Deer, you know what I mean. He's very strange, likes a good twisted tale, and The Favorite truly brings all of that together into this incredible spinning of a period drama. And I just think it's such a brilliantly directed, executed story that really balances the manipulation of Queen Anne by these two advisors that she brings on. Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz play those. It's such a smart, quick fire kind of story, so I really enjoyed that one.
I love that it's also largely true. I mean, obviously there's a lot of license taken with history, but Queen Anne actually did have a relationship, particularly with Lady Sarah.
Yes.
And Rachel Weisz said that she read their love letters, and they were really passionate, and they did have this long relationship since childhood. Hold on, Jared's telling me. Oh, and now Regina King is coming by, and everybody's screaming for Regina King, the favorite to win supporting actress tonight. Okay, Alfonso Cuarón in Roma.
Now, Alfonso's execution of Roma is, he saw the whole thing through from conception to the end. Every single frame, moment, second of that film is Alfonso. So it's very hard if you're looking at a director who's had complete and utter input. Roma is his movie, you know, in the same way that I think Pavel's movie is very much his own. But Roma, like, Alfonso did the cinematography, he produced it, he wrote the script and didn't even share it with his cast.
Right, and it's based on the woman who raised him.
It is.
And it's a beautiful
personal story. It's stunning. You can watch it on Netflix right now. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous movie, and it's difficult when you're looking at feats of filmmaking. Alfonso really achieved that.
All right. We are going to come back to directing in just a minute. There's a couple of other things I want to discuss.
Yes.
But right now, we have JD and Lola back down on the carpet with someone amazing.
And yes, she is definitely amazing. We are here with the amazing Michelle Yeoh, star of Crazy Rich Asians. Thank you so much for being here. You look extraordinary.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm very excited.
Speaking of excited, let's talk about the excitement around Crazy Rich Asians. Definitely one of the biggest films of the year, universally well received at the box office, also culturally impactful. Did you have any idea it would have that big a reception?
It was what we hoped for, because as we were making it, we realized more and more that it was the first time in a very long time that there was an all-Asian cast with, you know, all the significant roles that were in the movie. And it was our story that we needed to tell. Now that it is so successful, it is very empowering, and we feel included. And I think it's about time. It's been so long, and I've never understood why that we were just a token of what is going on in our industry. So this time with Crazy Rich Asians, it just went to prove that the audiences do want to see. They don't have a preference in what the casting is, as long as it is well cast and it's a good movie to see.
You are a major star all around the world, and you have been to these events before. Obviously, you've done Crouching Tiger and other movies that got enormous success in the United States as well as around the world. Is it different this time in terms of how the films are being received? Do you feel a different kind of movement in sort of the broader culture in America and around the world?
I think there definitely is a very significant move. And you would have to be blind if you can't see it, right? Because you can feel that the inclusion of everyone across the board. There is no more very strict guidelines where it's the Oscar, so it has to be like this. I mean, look, we don't have a host tonight, and we're still going to have a good time. So I think times have changed because we have changed. And I think what we need to do is to be inclusive and supportive of each other and embrace the differences.
Really quickly, we've got to talk about this dress. And Twitter wants to know about the bracelet. The bracelet is all over Twitter. People want to know. Talk to us about the rocks on your wrist, on your fingers, and this stunning dress.
Thank you. Well, my dress is from Elisab. The ring is actually from my better half. And I'm wearing Chopard. So the bracelet is Chopard.
Chopard.
Yes, but the watch is Richard Mille. Huh?
Well, look, and the rings, did you show these incredible rings? All on both? That's amazing. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're a lady who likes nice things. Really quickly, what can we expect from Crazy Rich Asians 2? I'm desperate for a sequel, and I know I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. We're all waiting very eagerly. But, the second and third is always more difficult because the expectations are so high. So we have to get it right. And they are in the midst of writing it.
So I'm getting
this interview right.
Really quickly, I'm getting something from Twitter in terms of people in Malaysia are very excited for you.
Yes.
So Michelle's from Ipoh, which is it's pretty small, Ipoh.
Yes,
I used to live in Batu Pahat, and a
lot
of
God, you didn't.
I did.
Wow.
So a lot of people in Malaysia, what do they feel about the success? What would you say to the fans in Malaysia?
They have been so supportive throughout my career. So they are very, very excited that, to see one of their own out here on the red carpet as well. It does make a huge difference because I think it's so empowering for little girls back home to go, hey, I can do that too, because I see her doing it. So that's what I hope.
Terima kasih.
Thank you so much. Amazing, right? You've been holding out on me.
I have a secret pass.
I didn't know you were bilingual, trilingual. Look at you.
Quadrilingual.
Quadrilingual.
I'm going to go back to Jess Cagle up there, spinning the facts like a DJ of Hollywood.
Hola, Jess. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Like a DJ of Hollywood spinning the facts. Thank you, JD and Lola. I love Michelle Yeoh. That was great. All right, I'm here with Pia, and we are breaking down the Best Director nominees to tell you who's going to win the Best Directing category. We already, before we went down and spoke to Michelle Yeoh, we talked about Spike Lee, Pavel Pawlikowski, Yorgos Lanthimos of The Favorite, Alfonso Cuarón, and Roma. One other thing about Alfonso, when he was making the movie, and there are a lot of children in the film, and they know Alfonso Cuarón from Gravity, right?
Yes,
they know him as the guy who made Gravity, which they love, and they know that he won an Oscar and all of that. And they would say, Alfonso, are we going to go to the Oscars? And he was like, no. This is a little film. It's in black and white. It's in Spanish. No chance any of you are going to the Oscars, and yet it could actually win tonight. Adam McKay is our 5th nominee for directing Vice.
Oh my goodness, Vice, by the way. Can we just take a moment to just...
I admired it. I didn't quite get it. It was a shock to the system.
It is a whirlwind of a story, and I absolutely loved how it upended the traditional biopic that we see. We're taking on one of the most elusive figures in U.S. political history, Dick Cheney, and you spin a tale about his life when you don't have a lot to go on. So I think Adam did an incredible job, and the performances in that film are outstanding. There's wicked comedy, it's brilliant satire. I loved it.
Oh, you did?
I really did.
I loved it and hated it all at the same time. I did. I was like, I didn't know how to respond.
Infuriating responses. It's a moment you really can't stop thinking about it for a while.
You can't.
And I just think, to me, I just was so impressed by what Adam McKay was able to do. You know, this is a guy who's come out through the comedy world. So, you know.
Oh, and a comedy genius, and The Big Short was genius.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway. Who's going to win this category tonight?
So I've got to say, I think it's a very tight race between Spike and Alfonso.
Oh, I would love it if Spike. I mean, Alfonso Cuarón.
Yes.
I'm predicting him because he's won everything else.
Yes.
To see Spike Lee win his first Oscar for directing would be incredible.
I won't rule that out because I also think, you know, when the Directors Guild gave Alfonso his award, remember the voting closes earlier, and I think by the time the Oscar nominations came along and people really realized Spike Lee has never been nominated for directing before, I think that could edge his chances in here.
And BlackKKlansman is genius.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
and it's so surreal that it's kind of based on this true story anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just this incredible film that I think draws a very prescient message between what happened then and what's happening now. And what's better than to have a movie that makes you sit up and think about the world today?
Absolutely. I think that before we get to the Best Picture nominees, we have this great piece from our awarded series on Roma. So we'd like you to take a look at that.
Everything is based upon my memories, or 90% of the film. In one hand, it's a domestic story of a family, but also you have this class and racial dynamics. But that stuff that seems so specific about Mexico, it just transcends borders. And together with that is just the simple fact that it's a woman.
The way he approached the entire process was also, I would say, not the usual way that we're accustomed to making movies, and that made it also like an additional challenge that I thought, great, I'm on board.
I wrote a very precise and very detailed screenplay, but then nobody else had the screenplay. The crew and the actors were learning their circumstance as we were going. Also, each morning, if I had a group of actors, I would give written dialogues to some of them, but to some of the other ones I would not.
I really never questioned it. I only surrendered to it. I mean, it was challenging, but it was also incredible and wonderful because it helped us as actors to really immerse in a real life experience.
So before the shooting started, I had the opportunity of talking to him and to Livo, who is the actual Cleo in real life. And they both told me only about the past of Cleo. This is only about everything that happened before we started shooting. And then he said what come next we would be discovering little by little when shooting.
This is a very personal story of Alfonso and his memories, and it's how do you dig into someone's brain to get all his memories and get him to tell you exactly what he wants.
As we were filming, he used to talk a lot about how it all turned out being on the shoulders of the women and the way that she overcomes this and where she finds her real accomplice in life, that it's Cleo.
Even if it's a story that is very personal and is very specific about a certain context, the human experience is one and the same, and also is timeless.
Tanya. Hi. How are you? Hi.
Hi guys, we are here with the legendary Spike Lee and his wife Tanya,
and his beautiful
looking
wife.
amazing today. How does it feel to be here yet again? There's a lot of people talking about you tonight, and what's going to happen?
Well, I'm going to go biblical on you. If God is willing, the creek don't rise. A little stumble right there.
All right. Spike, walk us through what's going through your mind right now. I mean, the first time you've ever been nominated in the Best Director category. But your film,
and picture, too.
And picture. And to have this film, BlackKKlansman, be so universally well received, walk us through how you're feeling right now and how important this evening is for you.
Well, for me, the big win is that this film was accepted all over the world. It made the same amount of money in the United States as it did internationally. So it showed that this film is addressing a global problem, not just something United States and America. But we've done the work already, and whatever happens, happens. This film was on the right side of history.
When you've been here before, the culture seems to have a long time ago.
Long time ago, 92 and 90.
But do you feel the shift in the culture when you've been going through this process with this film as opposed to the past?
Well, here's the thing, and she's here today, April Rain, with her hashtag #OscarSoWhite, and Cheryl Booth Isaacs, who was the former president of the Academy of Ocean Picture Arts and Sciences. Those two were responsible for the voting membership being more diverse. Those two.
Tanya, can you please talk to us about how special it is for you to be here? You know him as your husband. We know him as a brilliant filmmaker. How important is it for you to be here with him?
Well, I'm just happy to be here celebrating. I think it's really wonderful that his peers are recognizing him in this way. It's been a long time coming, but here we are, and we're just having a really wonderful time. It's really great.
We spoke with Terence Blanchard earlier, and he told us that you are meticulous about the music, that you are all over every bit of it.
I don't mess around with the music.
How gratifying is it to see Terence nominated, to see Barry
Brown
nominated, to see Adam
Driver's first nomination too. So my co-screenwriters, everything's good. You know, this film's been a blessing. And
your hashtag is shown up. Is that right?
The what?
The hashtag shown up.
Yeah. I know who did that. Wasn't me, but I like it though. All right.
And I got to ask about the pin.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's really from the poster. BlackKKlansman. It's a black man in the hood. The great John David Washington.
And can we see the jewelry?
Yeah, let's see this.
All right, first we got honoring my brother Prince, wearing purple. As you know, the end credit song for this film is the Prince is singing the Negro spiritual, "Mary Don't You Weep." And the story behind that, they had to go through when he passed away, they got to catalog his music. And out of nowhere, this cassette showed up with Prince alone, just playing on piano. And my man, Troy Carter, he found it. He said, you should use that at the end of the film. And then this purple suit is by Oswald Boateng.
Yep.
Love Oswald, our Ghanaian brother.
And then,
check these out.
Oh, got it upside down.
The rings say love and hate.
Yes.
Scene reminiscent of Radio Raheem from Do the Right Thing.
Yes, but before that though, Robert Mitchum
and
Night of Hunter.
Night of
but that's where I got it from. So we got to make a choice. Which one gonna be?
There you
go. He's in love today.
Thanks so much. Good luck.
We love speaking with you. Thank you so much. Legendary Spike Lee.
Great honor to talk to him, and really exciting. And I love the jewelry and an amazing
and
film. We'll
Tanya
go back.
made that happen.
Right,
Thank you,
right back to
Tanya.
you, Jess.
Wow. Spike has a lot of momentum, I think, tonight. People love seeing him out here.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love seeing him.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Jared, we're down to Best Picture.
Oh.
Best Picture.
The big one.
Let's, no, we don't have Best Picture. We're going to go down to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
We're going to go down to the pride of Appleton, Wisconsin here. Mr. Willem Dafoe, one of the greatest actors of his generation.
Thank you.
Second year in a row nominated now.
That's great. Yeah, no, it's great.
Playing a great artist. You may have heard of him. They call him Van Gogh in Woody Allen movies and Van Gogh for everybody else.
Van Gogh? Yes.
So what appealed to you about playing a tortured artist like this? I mean, a lot of people think you go deep and you want to get these really conflicted characters.
Well, what would draw me to the project is Julian Schnabel, a great painter, and a great filmmaker, was going to make a film about a painter. And also, I knew his approach was not going to be a traditional, it wouldn't be a forensic biopic. It would be, the way he described it to me, I know we were going to go to the places that Van Gogh was. We were going to paint. We were going to try to imagine what he was thinking when he was in his most productive period. So it wasn't so much about, it was about getting away from the cliche. And when I started researching it, I was surprised by many things. His sincerity, his joy, how connected he was in his work.
Julian Schnabel, you know, he worked on the Basquiat film, directed that famously years ago. What sorts of conversations did you have with him about creating your own Van Gogh? What new did you want to bring to a person who is so iconic in the world of art?
You know, it's all through the doing and being places. We went out in nature. He taught me how to paint. There was a beautiful script. Some of it had elements of his letters and things that he had written. There was a wealth of things to react to. We were shooting in many of the places that Van Gogh was, particularly landscapes that were even recognizable in his paintings. So that's quite thrilling. You get a sense of place, you get a sense of communing or imagining him being there.
And we
You paid in Van Goghs.
Pardon?
Were you paid in Van Goghs?
I wish.
But you were painting, and that must be very challenging.
It was, but he was a very good teacher, and really learning how to paint became the key to playing the character. And it also really changed how I see things, not only painting, but how your brain rushes to account for things, and in fact sometimes kills experience rather than going beyond the surface and seeing what's really going on, the rise and fall of things, which if you read Van Gogh's letters and you look at his paintings, you know, really is that new way of thinking is really supported by something very concrete that you see in his paintings.
Willem, thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And I want a Defoe, not a Van Gogh. That's what I'd like. Back to you, Jess Cagle.
All right, thank you, JD and Lola. We're gonna say goodbye and goodnight to you right now. You've done a fantastic job. I loved it. All right, I'm gonna break down with Jared who is going to win Best Picture tonight. We'll run through them very quickly. Black Panther, BlackKKlansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, The Favorite, Roma, and A Star is Born in Vice.
Well, Roma has had a lot of momentum. I think with this preferential voting system, I think we could maybe see either A Star is Born or BlackKKlansman, very powerful, memorable film, slip in. We might see a surprise.
All right. Well, this has been the People Entertainment Weekly Red Carpet Live. Enjoy the show.